It is getting a little warm in here. Probably about a half an hour or so. I'll turn on the air conditioner for about an hour or two. It gets cold. Yeah, it's in the 90s. It's like 91. But we have pecan trees all around the house and stuff. And so, sometimes it will get in the 80s here. And it'll be 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'll still be running around in my jacket in this building because of the no exposures from the south sun because of the trees and all the windows with the fresh air. The middle of the parking lot's and it's coming at the top, and cold air settles and hot air rises. So I got the windows down near the bottom, and the hot air the cold air from the fan that's kind of still in here kind of settles, and the fresh air comes in, but it kind of forces out the hot air through the windows. So it's nice. I got to remember when it gets warm. I always do. I forgot. I was just busy today. I wasn't thinking about how warm it was. I closed the front door. So that was, then at night, when it's cool and dark and shady, I open that up. And then any of the hot air can go out that door, and the cold air kind of settles and stuff. And I got this fan. Suzuki always tells me that, You got one thing that Hogan doesn't have is a ceiling fan, So as far as any of your things is adjusting to droppings of critters that live in the walls and things like that, and adapting yourself to nature and building an immunity to iodine powder like the Dread Pirate Roberts Resley and shit, stuff. And so when people get sick and ill and they appear to be healthy, it's because they're not adapting to nature properly, and that's not healthy, right? You get a lot of people try to do that. Don't try to make a science out of it. Just do good, do right, and Dudley, you'll do right, and Nell won't try to have sex with your horse, right? Yeah. Adventures of Dudley Do Right. I found that disturbing. I was like, she's interested in the horse? I didn't know the sexual connotations on it. I was like, it's kind of cute, but the horse? Of course. Because we're one source, of course. Okay. Really? You think they're going to name their kid Pierce? From Percy Jackson with okay, never mind. Pierce Brosnan. 007 with Halle Berry. Was it with Halle Berry? Was he with Halle Berry, or was it the other kid that I forget his name? There's been quite a few 007s. My favorite was Sean Connery. I grew up I didn't like the show very much. Kind of obnoxious and pretentious. A bunch of rich people get together and use science projects to try to rule the world, and sexy women that can kill you because they're psycho, and you're having sex with this sexy woman that might kill you because she's psycho, and you're psycho, and it's like, wow, it looks like a very interesting life. There's a man who leads a life of danger. This is totally insane. Yes, it is. Why didn't you guys recognize that instead of deriving entertainment from it? She could go all Black Widow and eat your head off right after sex. Well, this is evolution, and we are animals. Okay. What are you doing? Leaving Caltech as fast as I can. You really? We're going to have that conversation right here? Joyce Kim, huh? Real cute, low self-esteem, huh? Life's eternal, grace is infinite. Free the soul from the mind, Joyce. Free the soul from the mind. Then you won't be on a boat thinking, oh my gosh, there's a rough seas up here in the North Sea studying, Stephen Hawking's imagination instead of living your life free from Stephen Hawking's imagination, Joyce Kim, making out with Leonard because you're drunk, because you're doing crazy shit that makes you feel alive. Why do you guys always have to do crazy shit to make yourself feel alive? That's always been like, what? What makes me feel alive? Fresh air, clean water, very good shelter, sharing that with humans that care and are kind, and protecting from abuse and selfishness. That's what makes me feel alive. I'm funny like that. I'm weird. What can I say? I don't want to be on the subway being indoctrinated with my headphones and a book, right? I was watching this Osman Gold thing. I've watched quite a few of his clips. I just never really paid attention to who he was, right? Like when they show me what's the kids' names again? I don't know. The ones that I made videos for over those ones, the one kid that had 4 billion views on one of the thingy-mabobber things there. It's like you do realize that you're just somebody that people can relate to, that they can relate to their extortion, exploitation, propaganda, and genocide operations is acceptable. Okay, what's the kid's name again? Lottie Dottie Dum. I could look it up. I'm sitting right here. Let's go to the library. Lottie Dottie Dum, Lottie Dottie Dum. What's the name of that song? Lottie Dottie. Oh, I love trash. Anything dirty or dingy or dusty. It was quite a couple of days ago. We've made a lot more videos. There's one about crummy cake. I love crummy cake. Calvin and Hobbes. Pissing on DeLovely. Grease for Peace. Fat I Can't. Trace is sweeter than the day before. That's play on two classics, four songs. Every day with you, go trip, faded photograph, covered now in lines and here it is. Nick Shirley and Sean Ryan. Nick Shirley and Sean Ryan. Those two. They trend more than Osman Gold. I have trouble saying the kid's name. Okay. I find him particularly amusing. He's particularly amusing. Okay. And he tries to be a good kid. And he sits there and he kiss asses to all the texts that could kill you and make it look like an act of God, and all those psychopath assassins that they have that you all want to kind of have as buddies at the bar so nobody kicks your ass for being obnoxious, because he appreciates you're obnoxious until you make fun of him or his girlfriend, right? You know what I'm saying? You're a princess. If you believe money's real and you believe you should consume more than you need and make more money than you need to consume. Okay. First of all, money's not real, but water is, and food is, and shelter is, right? But if you're making lots of money catering to the egotism of genocidal operators that are addicted to it, you can afford a lot of fast food. You can also afford a maid. Yes. And sometimes the maids, if you pay them extra money on some of the videos I've seen here, will do sexual favors for you as well. They're quite attractive, but if you don't pay enough money, they probably got a really mean big boyfriend that's more attractive than you and can kick your ass better than you. But if you're a tech guy, maybe you could engineer something technological to shock the shit out of him, kick him in the head, piss on his face, and say, if you bring your boyfriend around here, I'll kill him with a laser beam between his and feed them to my pet sharks. Right? Okay, so you're like sitting there going, these people are crazy. Yeah, they are. I sat and watched the I'm a Princess video that he did, and I watched, what was the other one? The guy on the subway, right? Yelling at all the folks being indoctrinated, extorted, and exploited. And he wanted everybody to hear he's pissed off at it and doesn't want to participate because he might be dyslexic and can't read. So don't push me around or I'll fuck you up, because I have to make money the old-fashioned way. I have to beat people up, extort them, and steal it. You know, like the Goliath way, the caveman way. Marshall, Will, and Holly on a routine expedition. So what's the difference between the way he gets his indoctrination through a loudspeaker to try to tell everybody, don't nobody fuck with me because I've run the train while I'm on the train, as opposed to the other guy who's reading a book and listening to headphones so he can do it from a corporate office 24 stories in the air? What's the difference? None whatsoever. They're both being assholes for money and both accepting being assholes for money, and everybody else on the train is too, right? This train don't carry no gamblers. This train, no high-tone women, no. This train doesn't carry my mother now. This train, right? Just get off the train. There is no train. You don't need a train. Why? Well, James Brown is cool, but he made it to carry the heavy loads so he could extort, exploit, and not live the Lord's Prayer. Now, if you have a train and you need a train, why would it be Snowpiercer? I don't know. That's a weird science project gone wrong in somebody's head who's having delusions of acute paranoia and schizophrenia. And then you guys are all entertained by it and then watch The Walking Living Dead or whatever. First, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh time Planet Apes again, but it's all right. Soylent Green and the Omega Man, make it stop, here it comes again. Oh, it's Rod Sterling's imagination. It came in the form of Stephen King. He inspired him. He admired him. He was iconic to him. Oh, shit, we suck again. How Twilight of Your Zone. Is that a 4-foot alien telling us how to live better than a 7-foot basketball player who has a pet tiger in his house? Does he ride around with it in his car? He can, but do you have a big parakeet cage that you shower in? You can change film with a head on you. You don't need to use film anymore. You just sit there. You can take pictures with a kid on your back. You don't need to change film because if you get the right iPhone, you can take pictures that are practically perfect in every way, and you look like a professional every day, and you can sell them for screensavers for advertising on TV. It's just batshit crazy. I know it's crazy, but do you know it's crazy? Okay. Do you understand? No, I don't. I have no time for short attention span theater on Mystery Science on the was that the Comedy Channel or whatever? Me and Shelly used to watch that because me and Shelly were better. Oh yeah, we were. Okay, I was a skinny Mexican guy married to a full-figured black girl that was almost the same height as me, and it's like, don't yell at us while we're making jokes at the dollar movie theater, or my wife will kick your ass. Right? They had always thought that they were sitting there going, okay, the first one's theirs, but the younger one, she's been screwing around. It's like, yeah, Gilbert's been through that before. But it's not the case. If you listen closely, the older one that looks like ours calls her Aunt Shelly and me Dad. Okay. Now, the younger one does call me Dad because he's only 3 and calls her Mom. And I always tell my mom, girl, but dads are for play. And I always play with him. And when I play with him, he calls me Dad. And I say, okay, he's got a pretty good dad there. Dad's a good dad. Gilbert's a good dad. He comes in, he works his ass off to pay all the people's bills, and then he plays. Yeah, so Gilbert's a good dad. Don't nobody talk shit about Gilbert. Gilbert is a lot like the rest of my brother-in-laws, dumb as a box of rocks, but work hard for those fucking rocks. Little pig, let me in. Not by the hair of my vintage engine. I'm puffing, ruffing, roll your house in. The bear went over the mountain to see what anarchy in bedrock. Twitch, twitch. Boom, ba-dum, boom, boom, ba-dum, ba-dum, boom, boom, ba-dum. It's the swilliqueer chaos. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Protozoa, check the technique. But Premier's beats are some of the best, aren't they? I agree. Right? Poof, hear the heavy bass, right? Yeah, that's a good song. Anybody else like check the technique? My favorite is Words I Manifest. That's the one that drew me in. It's always... It probably always will be my favorite. I do like the Jazzmatazz album. That's my favorite album. And Premier's not on it. Roy Ayers is on it. Donald Byrd is on it. I think, isn't Donald Byrd from Walking in Rhythm, Moving Along? Yeah, he's like, I think the main composer of the group, musician. Like Larry Blackmon from Cameo with Tommy Jenkins and the Jenkins and Wayne Cooper. Everybody said that Wayne died from sickle cell anemia, and then no, he died from acquired immune deficiency syndrome, which is based on the same thing. So it's this sexually transmitted disease. How dare you say sickle cell anemia is a sexually transmitted disease? It's a hereditary disease. That means it's sexually transmitted. Damn, they can be taught. Okay. Hello. I go to school. I put people in petri dishes. Then I sell them stuff to survive hell. And they call me a genius. And I'm a doctor. And I'm a physician. And I'm the most intelligent philosopher on the planet. Hey, Aristotle. Roll over and tell Plato the news. Who's that? That's Socrates. Socrates Johnson. He's been moved to San Dimas. He's at Waterloo every weekend after he plays miniature golf. Then goes to the mall and does aerobics with Joan of Arc. And then accidentally gets locked up with him and Abraham Lincoln. They party on, dudes. It's like, what the hell's going on? 20th century and the 21st century. Damn, when are we going to get to Duck Dodgers? I don't think we ever will. Yeah, they're not listening. They won't. They weren't listening. They're not listening still. Perhaps they never will. It really doesn't matter if they're listening or not. We have quantum computing, like I've told people numerous times. Technology listens to you better and hears you better and understands you better than you understand you. You're trained by technology by consumer German genocide operations through brain chemical addiction, through brain chemical addicts. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Seen it? I do like the Oompa Loompa songs better in the first one than the second one. They're all the same. I know, but they're funny. Oompa Loompa, Doompa Dee Doo. I've got another riddle for you. If the kid is a brat, this who's to blame? The mother and the father. Oompa Loompa. No, I like the Oompa Loompa. Yeah, Deep Roy, there's only one. That's like discrimination. You had a whole bunch of short people. from the reality TV shows of the people, our wedding sucks, it's raining. You need water to live. Get over it. Or else if it don't rain, you die. Yeah. Hi, Captain Sahara. It's XZZYXXXYZZ Road. Okay, so you don't have water, you die. You go out of business. Okay. Stay in business. Here comes the rain again, falling on your head like a memory, falling on your head like a new emotion. I want to walk in the open breeze. I want to look like lovers do. I've got to do I have that on my phone? Talk to me like love. That is one of my favorite rhythmic songs. Anybody else particularly fond of Annie Lennox's voice too? I like Annie Lennox. Anybody else like Annie Lennox? I particularly like her God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. Me too. And her fantasy Peter Jackson songs. Yes, I like those too. Yeah, I don't listen to those that much. I listen to more of her the couple of her older remix tunes that I like. What's the other one that they had? It's on my. I like Here Comes the Rain Again. That's my favorite. But what's the other one that their remix do that was like their first big hit? That it's good, but not particularly my favorite because I like her when she sails a little bit more. I like her solo stuff better than her rhythmic stuff. Yeah. I like Rocking on Broken Grass. That sounds very painful, but I like No More I Love Yous and Why are particularly good. They're very particularly good. Yeah. Chantelet played Why for me when she was trying to date Kevin Johnson and her mom wasn't going for it and it didn't work and she was really depressed. I said, I told you, if you're going to go be around her, you're going to have to act like the guy and the lady with the headphones and the bus on the subway. If you in any way, shape, or form show any signs of the guy with the speaker, hooty hoo, it's Philly in the house at the basketball gym, you're going to have to read your contract on your tickets at the Phoenix Suns game that gets you ejected. If you say bitch, you act like a bitch, you play like a bitch, you suck. Okay? You say any kind of these things. Right? We didn't think Jim Jackson sucks. Jim Jackson was a pretty good ball player. As good as Kevin Johnson? No, and I think even Jim Jackson will tell you that. I was a good defender. I was a good rebounder. I could hit the open shot, but could I manipulate the court enough to, like Jason Kidd, to cause more opportunities for my teammates to get easy buckets? No. They were teammates, Jim Jackson and Jason Kidd. And when Jason Kidd came in the game, the whole game changed. Okay. Jason was so good at causing opportunities for his teammates to get better shot opportunities. He was a good shooter? No. Okay, I was like Jason. I was smaller, faster, and could jump higher. Okay, but I was a better passer and a way better shooter. Mostly in mid-range. Never had to use the left, not a day in my life. Was a good passer with my left hand, was an exquisite, exceptional passer with my right. That's why I dictated everything to my right. 75% of the time, if you sent me to my left, I was still going to beat the shit out of you with my right. Like I told you, when the guy was heading down on the left, and I would be running down the middle of the court, and they went, oh, here comes that boy. I would high step and dribble between my legs real fast, bam, bam, bam. And when it came back, because the guy was on my left, when it came back to the right hand and they came up to guard me, the pass went for the layup right to the guy cutting to the basket. I didn't care if he shot it for his right or his left hand. He was all alone. It was easy. Like taking candy from an egomaniac baby, yes. So, yeah. It was the Ramsey show with the little black girl. You're a princess and you should be treated this way. You guys do know that the words applied to royalty were bastardized and stolen from linguistics, from people that the King of Kings and Lord of Lords is the man that has the humility to submit to faith and infinite glory so he doesn't bastardize himself and build monuments to his egotistical, violent war sect, war clan insanity. I'm going to have 5,000 people killed to cater to me and my bitch in the sky, Lord in the sky. And you guys are still talking about that shit, and it's 2026. It's the 21st century. Maxi Priest, could you explain it to him? They might listen to you. You got a better voice than I do. I just want to be close to you. Do all the things you want me to. Anybody else? Me and my best friend in the service and my first wife were particularly fond of Maxi Priest. Okay. He's a British singer who migrated from the Caribbean to England, okay, to join Pato Batten, Brinsley Dad, Jummy Zeb, Tony Nod, and other people. There's been quite a few people. Who's my favorite? Alphonse is my favorite songwriter. David Hines is the lead singer from Still Pulse, who's also from Britain, one of my favorite reggae bands. Anybody else particularly fond of British reggae? And Roger. Yes, Roger's homosexual, but Pato doesn't care. He's his dog. Pato and Roger come again. Pato and Roger go a talk. Pato and Roger, because people are poor and they're treated like shit because of economic conflict and it's illegit and it needs to quit. Listen to Haile Selassie. He's a good man. He's the spirit of John the Baptist, not a cartoon character fan, nor a fanatic B. Okay, you know, he's turned into something that he's not by people that give you propaganda and money instead of the truth of the Gospels and a real reality worth living for, not fighting for. That's a Disney cartoon. They'll charge you money to watch it. Me? I don't charge you money. There's no advertising on this channel whatsoever. Right? Views? 125. The 6 scientists at NASA that are still head fucking you because you volunteered to be head fucked rather than stand up for Parsons as the Messiah. We try. I just have to make the Gospels available to the public. The scientists that are performing genocide operations through voluntary, involuntary manslaughter in close proximity to me. I live in Las Cruces, New Mexico. That's White Sands Missile Range, 350 miles that away, which would be west of my domicile, where I do my cyber arrest through the New World Order. Learn more about the New World Order. Oh, shut up already. I don't want your money and I don't need your advertising dollars. All I need you to do is submit to the Lord's Prayer. Or Mr. Lucky's technology just might get flipped by Ultron, which is a quantum computer at Fort Huachuca, and kill all the people that are addicted to screwing people in the head with involuntary manslaughter, through voluntary manslaughter, through accepting money to fight, to kill, to fuck, to be Pharaoh and his bitch wife and the Sky Lord in the sky. You never know. I try not to think about it. I hate watching people be murdered through accepting genocide as reality and then all these people suffering. Well, when you go in the sky and die and live with God, you won't have to endure cancer or heart disease anymore. You won't have to eat cheeseburgers by the dozens to try to die early to forget about life for a while, but enjoy eating yourself to death. Well, guys, most people, there's to procreate. That was when I was cleaning out the lawnmower and cutting the lawn the other day. The urge to procreate the species is the greatest urge in the entire thing. Sheldon on the Big Bang Theory, that with Leslie Winkle, and they put the electrode and the rat will press it till it dies, and Leonard, who wouldn't, right? Because sex does feel better than eating food, but you can eat food till you die, and it takes a long time. Okay, if you try to have sex till you die, all you need is some whacked out scientist from Caltech to put an electrode in your head and give you a button. And you'll be dead going, that was great, that's the spot. It's Marilyn Monroe. She's sucking my dick till I can't walk and I have a heart attack and die. Wait. Before I die, I want to have sex with Lola Falana and Barbara Luna too. Is that Ella Fitzgerald? That's the spot. Do you see what I'm saying? You're funny. I know, if you're intelligent, I'm funny. If you're uptight and full of yourself and God is a pretentious, self-righteous, pious, nobody wants to hang out with you because you're such a mean asshole who your sex life is the best sex life, and talking about other people's sex life makes you go, oh, that's gross. It's like, okay, so when you take a shit, it's bricks of chocolate gold, and when I take a shit, it's the cause of all disease and killing everybody? Wow, go fertilize your own fields, but get the hell out of mine, right? Do you see what I'm saying? Being intelligent is an all-day job. Okay? I work harder than any other person on the fucking fuck money planet. Okay? A lot of people that do exactly what they're told, spend all their time coming up with ideas to be distracted by it or feel great by it. I work harder than everybody else for my fuck money and all my material possessions that are so much nicer than yours. Are we building to last? Are we sharing, caring, giving, caring in need? Have we forgiven debt and trespass and love one eternal faithful peace yet? Well, then I'll keep working my ass off! And you go get money to fuck, you stupid, pretentious, arrogant, self-righteous bitch. Hey, is that the church lady? Hey, she's just like you. Shades of blue. It's just paper. Isn't it? Go make a confession video to your kids that I would have been better if I could have held my head out of my ass, but I was addicted to fucking guys in the Secret Service. Well, they're gorgeous. You really think they're gorgeous? You think people that would come and fuck my wife to try to outfuck me and then have it affect my daughter because they sexually predicate on the whole family and not just the mother, and they also sexually predicate on the dad to see if the dad will go for it. And the girls weren't trying to predicate on me. They were trying to protect me from the sexual predator males at the fort that were trying to out-sex perform me. And I wasn't trying to outperform anybody. I was just trying to keep Jaime home and keep her satisfied. Keep her coming every night. Just, this love has taken its toll on me. She said goodbye too many times. Wonder why Amy's kids like that song so much? Her heart is breaking in front of me, and I have no choice. Past, present, future operate at the same time. Amy was going to take me to that concert whether I wanted to go or not. Remember the guys at Fort Huachuca? You poor bastard, there is no free will. You were going to be you whether you wanted to be or not. You too, Brute? Yeah. So you were going to be you whether you wanted to be or not. And you're a home invading pervert, child molesting scientist who uses technology to manipulate people with money so you can make people pay for their sex life to live here. And you could video record it and say you control it all. And if people need to see it, they'll get to see it. If they don't need to see it, they're not good enough to be part of your sex club. Right, Freemasons? Right, Temple Set Poo Poo Potty? Hi, is that the ghost of Antoine LaVey walking across your grave? Right? So I'll label this one for this kid. If he watches it, I don't know if Ryan Shaw and Nick Shirley watched theirs. Do you? I don't really care. All I'm concerned with is being the living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer, correcting quantum computing technology globally, and getting the technology to share the perfection of the mathematical wisdom of the messiahs globally that have the same faith but express it in their own beautiful way. I love Tetsuo Suzuki too. I love Haile Selassie too. I love Steve Biko too. I love Bob Marley too. That's my cousin. Marley's and Parsons are first cousins. He's handsome. I used to be handsome. Give me time if I detox from chemical poisoning from all these perverts and I could be handsome again. When I'm sitting on the toilet in the trailer in Sierra Vista in 2000 and was that 10, guys? Yeah, because Crummy was born. 2010, the girls watching go, damn, he's cute. It's like, damn, I agree. Okay. He's the bravest man alive, right? And assassins at Fort Huachuca are terrified of him because the chi that runs through his body can protect children from being pervert murderers and home invaders like these hot guys that work out all the time, do Kamagra and Ji-Kudo and Jut-Kudo and Jit-Kudo, and can try to physically kill you in different kinds of watching animals hunt and kill each other and survive hunting and killing each other. Right, and Earl just has to go, don't hit me, I don't want to hit you. I don't want the chi that flows through my body to protect children from perverts like you to have to crush your rib cage because you might have a wife and kids. And if I could get you to live the Lord's Prayer, you could enjoy them the way I want to enjoy mine. Right? Isn't he gorgeous? I have to explain everything to everybody. It gets goddamn irritating. I can't be all, here's a fortune cookie. Old man, how is it you see that? Young man, how is it you do not? I don't get to be mysterious or do lotus blossom sermons or anything like that. All I want to do is tell haiku poems to the hottest chick with the biggest brown eyes who loves me and looks up at me and says, I love you. And I say, I love you too. Now I'm dreaming. And no more no me quiero más. I don't want to cry. I got my MP3 player. Maybe I'll do some connecting to universities through people's photographs. All I got is a photograph. No, I'm going to stay the course. I'll do two a days. So we'll do 2 teams a day till we get everybody else caught up. And we'll max out to 32 because we have 32 slots. That if you are going to connect to family and they limit your access to family through technology, you might as well put in pictures and put in indoctrination institutions that are public universities that are supposed to not be an institution that is involved in genocide through tribalistic philanthropy through mythology, right? Right. I don't do private colleges because private colleges do endowments from the arts from the old status quo of the system that was set up as property, is seen as their family as property and other human beings as property. Public universities are supposed to be there for the public so people are free from being property. If you can't read the 14th Amendment, maybe I'll read it for you. Okay, you're a princess. You deserve no money. You deserve to live the wisdom of Psalms. Wisdom of Proverbs. The faith of Psalms. You deserve still waters. You deserve green pastures. You deserve shelter built to last. You deserve good plumbing that's not always leaking, so you don't have to go down to the down hardware store every month, whether you need to or not. Yes, sir. Hallelujah. Right? So you deserve beauty. You deserve righteousness, rules. So I'll forgive you this time for you being very ignorant, not insignificant. I guess you just hope to be as dope as me. I can hear you flee. Okay, don't have lots of money with no idea what's whack and what's dope. Okay, whack is not living the Lord's Prayer, and that conference has been killed by money, right? Dope is not stuff you put in your body that fucks you up. Dope is like, that makes me feel copacetic or irie. There you go. How Islam of you. How Christ of your Islam. All right, Islama, not bad. Islama, always good. Okay, if you make your Islama bad, you're doing it for money and you're debating on how to kill the poor for the wealthy to maintain the status quo through old institutionalization. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Thank you. In a government yard in Cruces. Okay, guys, I love you. All right, peace out.